Hey there! I'm Janice Dublin, a character animator, and this is Animation Admiration, a deep dive show that admires animation. In this video, I'm going to discuss two of the Nobodies from the game Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was animated by Japanese game company Square Enix in a collaboration with Disney. The Nobodies I'm going to show you today appear in Kingdom Hearts II. Previously, I did a Kingdom Hearts analysis on 5 of the heartless enemies. If you haven't seen that, there will be a link in the corner and in the description. In that video, I mentioned the fact that movement choices are based on character, and I went on to explain the character-driven reasons why I thought the heartless move the way they do. The main idea being that they're all like clueless puppet masters, pretending to be whatever their outer form represents, which explains a lot of their odd behavior. The Nobodies operate a bit differently. They don't have any goals, and they feel almost like blank slates in terms of character. In Secret Ansem Report 7 in KH2, Ansem states it's unclear what Nobodies' actual intentions are. Nobodies in general are said to be a shell of a person, empty. They're like the leftovers of strong-willed people, and they can't feel emotion. In contrast to Heartless, a heart is the only thing a Nobody lacks. They do possess a body and a soul, but from what we've seen in the game's lore and presentation, it seems like a heart is the essential construct that gives a person character. This is made pretty clear in the designs of these enemies. Heartless have such varied forms, and despite lacking a soul and body, they look more solid, colorful, and playful. Heartless even have full faces with clear-cut eyes and mouth, but Nobodies don't. Most of the Nobodies are quite human-like, with long feet and fingers. They're gray and squishy, hard to pin down, and totally not cute. The way the Nobodies bob around so freely seems to be trying to draw attention to the fact that there's nothing inside, the non-solid forms of the Gambler and Sorcerer being good examples. They certainly look like unemotional, empty shells, so it's like Nobodies aren't trying to do anything, they aren't trying to be anything, they're just free forms that get ordered to fight us sometimes. And with this in mind, the animators were still able to craft a movement style for these beings that is complex and interesting. Let's take a closer look at 2 examples. For my analysis this time, I'm going to focus on the sniper and the assassin. Just a reminder, if you do enjoy this video, please don't forget to give the video a like. It really helps me out. Okay, first up is the sniper Nobody. The sniper is a flashy, gravity-defying Nobody. Immediately, we can see the animators injecting personality into this character. Its odd jitters and its idle animation give it a high-energy eagerness that shows us it's ready for battle. It holds its crossbow straight in the air, visible to all, its finger on the trigger, and a bold, jagged smile adorns its face. The pose is open and feels confident. The sniper almost never touches the ground. It moves by literally crawling through the air, pulling forward with its non-weapon hand, and pushing with large footsteps. Warping into existence, it immediately targets Sora and fires a blast. The crossbow hand pauses in the air a bit while the upper arm actually inflates. This exaggeration helps us feel the anticipation of the shot. After the shot fires, the sniper recoils so hard that it does a spin, which is interesting because its shot doesn't actually go anywhere. It hovers still in the air, seeming innocent. Exaggerating the recoil in this way leads us to believe that the shot is, in reality, quite powerful, since we just saw the Nobody putting so much effort into it. If we go frame by frame here, we can see the frame where its crossbow is just fired, and then the next frame, there's huge spacing and the crossbow flies in the other direction. Wide spacing equals speed, so the animator placed things this way to show us the super quick movement. It pops to the back, the spacing gets closer, which is called slowing in, and it follows an arc, but the sniper regains control quickly and yanks the weapon down so it can start running again. I love the flowiness of the sniper's feet. The sniper isn't quite as squishy as other Nobodies, but the animators found a way to sneak some squish into it. We see here as it runs, the feet are flowing in pretty arcs. It's got super flexible joints. And speaking of flexible, there's a stagger that the sniper does that really stretches its limits. In Sora's attack finisher here, we can see the snipers getting caught up in a whirlwind and spinning around. After getting blown back, the spike on their right hips stretch out above them and seem to stick to an invisible ceiling, which they use to slow themselves down and regain control. First of all, that's gross. Second of all, it looks pretty effective. If we slow it down a little, they're using their hips to lead their swing. They thrust forward, turn around, and settle. Seeing how the swing changes from circles around one focal point to a back and forth around 2 focal points makes me think that they're actually able to stop themselves with their feet in midair. It seems as if the weight distributes to the foot here and contributes to the speed and direction of the swing. The way the sniper plays with gravity is incredibly fun to watch. Overall, the sniper's attacks seem pretty telegraphed. It's not very good at stealth. This one has it enlarging its weapon and firing a huge bullet. Like, this guy slowly slides in here with this humongous crossbow, stops, hits an anticipation pose, shoots, and expects me to get hit. The confidence of this nobody is astounding. What's even more amusing is the fact that these nobodies are meant to take after Xigbar, a high-ranking member of Organization XIII and one of the fastest and dodgiest opponents in the game. So a majority of the nobodies we encounter in the game are actually directly controlled by members of Organization XIII, and the sniper is a minion of Xigbar. Knowing this, I immediately wondered if that meant that they moved in the same way. Their movements are loosely similar, and their fighting style is not quite the same. Xigbar and the sniper share the same confidence, but Xigbar is certainly more clever. The first thing Xigbar does when the fight starts is warp away and fire his arrow guns. The sniper begins shooting after it warps into battle as well, though it does it slower and from closer to its target. There is an instance where Xigbar soars through the air while firing, which is similar to the sniper's wall run, but very loosely only because Xigbar does this so rarely. One of the sniper's attacks has it floating off of its invisible wall and disappearing for a second, until it flashes back in and sweeps wide with its weapon. Xigbar doesn't do this at all. His goal is to stay away from us and always shoots quickly and from a distance, warping constantly. He even goes so far as to warp nothing but his arms to shoot at Sora that way. Looks like the sniper's got a lot to learn. Now let's move on to the assassin nobody. A graceful and quiet nobody that hides its face. It's human-like, but a lot less so than the sniper. It stands on 2 legs, it has noticeable clothes, and a human head with a defined mouth. Yet its spiked arms, the most supernatural thing about it, are the most eye-catching. The spikes on the assassin's particularly long arms suggest that they are its weapon of choice, yet it leaves them simply dangling. It doesn't look ready to strike at all. But then there's this contrast in the back where the assassin stands on its tippy toes, which pushes its knees up. This makes it look almost like a runner about to take off. The head is down, the back is hunched, and its idle swaying is more controlled and subdued compared to other nobodies. To me, this posture screams unpredictable. We don't know where it's looking, we can't tell where it'll move to next, but its weapons are drawn and we know it's ready. An enemy that waits and watches. An enemy that hides and strikes from behind. I would describe the assassin's movement style as sharp yet slippery. The assassin appears in battle without moving much, a stationary and stocky pose that slightly rises into existence. Yet in contrast to that, it actually prefers to swim rather than walk or run. It does a rather graceful dive backwards into the ground and swims around in short arcs like an eel. The attack the assassin likes doing the most seems to be the big arm sweep one. It starts by gently floating its arms up, then it sweeps them across itself quickly while moving forward. The animator stretched the arms long and thin, letting them flow easily through the air, maintaining nice arcs. At the end, the assassin flops back into the ground. This stagger is interesting. Here we see Sora smacking back against an assassin. It pops to a T-pose and slowly descends, its clothes and arm spikes flapping in the wind. Before hitting the ground, it curls up into a backflip. The head leads the action, folding fastest. We can see as the legs follow back, the animator has staggered the timing so the left foot hits first, which is a way to break up the monotony and add more interest to the move. The legs then stretch past their normal length. To get a sucking down effect, the legs move faster to draw our eyes, while the top of the body is in a moving hold, that is, staying in one pose but moving slightly within it. Then all of a sudden, increase spacing of the body and force it down. Assassins are controlled by Axel. So then, does the assassin Nobody move in ways similar to Axel's fighting style? It does, and much more similar than the sniper style is to Xigbar. There's a forward attack where Axel throws his chakrams and has them spin flames on Sora rapidly. The assassin's arm swing attack is similar in that it doesn't hold back in its forward assault. Axel can do a quick zip around to attack from behind, which matches with the assassin's idea of stealth. And most similarly, although he doesn't submerge in the floor tiles, Axel does do a move where he disappears behind the wall of flames he built and jumps out later for a surprise attack, just like how the assassin swims underground to hide. Assassins are truly the clever little sneaks. So, from what we've just seen, it's obvious that despite knowing the Nobodies are empty shells with no intentions, the animation team was still able to pull out all the stops and creatively provide the stellar motion that brought the Nobodies to life. And that is enough admiration for now. Thanks for watching. Please let me know what you're thinking down in the comments. Subscribe if you want to keep up to date with this series, leave a like if you enjoyed, and share the video if you think others will enjoy it too. Follow me on social media for updates. And I will see you next time.